3 outfit changes. We are finally beginning. Okay. So, hi everyone. Hello. Welcome to my first YouTube video. Not my first YouTube video, but like the first one that I'm recording specifically for YouTube. I have put some covers and all, but that's alright. Chapter 1: History of being dreamlorn. In this video particularly, I will talk about how I came to be here, what series of events have led to me making this video right now, and I will be talking about what I hope to achieve from this channel, from this video, from the entirety of my life, I guess. And me just talking about it might be a little boring. I wouldn't watch somebody new randomly tell me about their life story, so I'm not gonna put you through that either, right? So what I'm gonna do is that I have prepared, I think, two vlogs. I have prepared two vlogs. One was on Halloween and I was watching both of the Hocus Pocus movies, and the second one was I was getting drunk on wine and painting for the first time in like a lot of years. I wouldn't expect a lot of art from me just now, but if you do, I'm not responsible for the emotional hurt that will come your way with that. Okay, great. So I'll start speaking. Oh, and by the way, in the background, I'll be telling my story. Like, you will be watching me, but like just watching is also not fun. And I have like, you'll see how it works. You'll see how it works once I'm done editing it. Okay, great. Okay, so let's begin how I came to be here. Okay. Even when I was a child, I used to love performing. Like, I watched Hannah Montana, I watched Barbie movies, and all I could think about was performing. Even like whenever I heard a song, all I could think about was how to perform them, right? Like, that's all I have done in my entire life. Like, every single time I like a song, I imagine a performance to it. I don't know when exactly, but I watched both this movie and the second part of it, which is not that good, obviously, as most like the whole song. But I watched this one. I'm sorry, this is not part of the channel. Sorry, but I played with 16. That's all. Every single slam book that my friends came to me with, I would write that I would be a pop star. How? Little Mirra doesn't know, but she is going to be. How little has changed since then. Anyway, so as I start growing up, I keep telling my parents also that I'm going to be a singer and whatnot, and they keep telling me that it's not a real career, right? So like, I start believing it. And honestly, at that point of time, I didn't really see people from India either. Like, this kind of career is a little mythical. Here, there's this giant vivacious and flamboyant Bollywood industry, but they're more singing songs for the movies, about the movies, not like independent music like there's in like America or anywhere else, really. That's a real cat. I googled it and they said that it's a real cat. They used the real cat. They used the real cat. God, what the real cat? There is no independent music scene, no prominent independent music scene, my bad. And I mean, with Pratik Guhad and like newer people doing it. So I just watched the bus scene, right? How the kids fit? The bus driver is like, this will take you to your most forbidden desires. And she's like, oh, fancy. And then she's like, oh, I want children. And he's like, it might take me a couple of tries, but we can get there. What? This is kids thing? Do kids understand this? I am telling you, every single kids thing is wasted on the kids. I mean, I love kids. I feel like kids are the nicest, like the most pure soul ever. But it's wasted on kids. Kids don't understand these jokes. It's for the adults. It's for me. These things are for me. I still was performing. I kept performing. I would participate in my school functions. I would participate in competitions. I spent the 3 years of my college from um, Delhi University being a part of a street play society. Like I have been performing either way. But then it wasn't like a real thing in my head. Like it wasn't something that I could pursue for sure, you know. And then something bad happened to the entire world, and the entire world shut down. Hello, we're back. We're ready with the second film, right? And I made myself some tea. This is chamomile and tulsi, ginger, turmeric. Before we begin, I feel like it's a chat. I don't think you can hear me. I hope you're enjoying. This is like my first time doing this. And let me just get you ready because I don't know what amount of story I've told you yet about like my dream and all. But it would be really nice if you enjoy. I feel like this could be a nice stepping stone. A nice next step in this journey that I'm on. But if you have dreams, I would love to know about that too. I feel like misery loves company. I mean, not that having dreams is miserable, but I just feel like, I don't know, maybe sometimes having dreams is a little, like there's this song that I wrote, right, for something. I don't know if I've told you yet, but for something. And other Mirra will take care of it. And in that song I wrote that like hope, a patient knowing, is also hope, a spilled blood and split lip repulsion. So like it's really hard to have hope sometimes. Like it really is. I feel like people who continue to have hope is just like the strongest people on earth, because like how many times you've been put down, right? Like how many times things have not worked out, especially if you're doing something on your own and you do not have like enough support for it, and you do not have like the logical steps to follow it, because like being a singer is anyway like such a mythical dream, and being wanted to be a singer and performer on an international level, it's a little more also. Like you do not know what next steps you need to take, right? So like if you have some dream, something that you think that is not true, first of all, it's going to come true. All of our dreams will come true. I know, I believe in magic. Okay. But if there's something that you would like to share, and something that you would like to get off your chest, this would be a great time for you to do it. I feel like this would be, I would love for you to do it. I would read it all. I really would. Okay, anyway, let's get started with the movie. So being at home all the time led to me having a lot of time on my hands, right? I mean, not that it was like fun time, but it was still time, right? And then I was working on my blog at that point of time, and I thought I was having fun, but it wasn't like, I thought it was what I wanted, because it was like the first time I was having this entire space to talk about what I wanted at length, at absolute length. Like there was no limit to the amount of things that I could talk about on there. So I didn't think I had enough freedom on Instagram to express myself, because like the layout was the same, the type of post was the same and all. So I was working on my blog, and I thought it would bring me a lot of peace, because it was like my creativity finally unleashed, and I had a lot of fun for the year and a half that I did work on it. And I changed like the layout. I changed the layout every 3-4 months, and I had to make it from scratch, and every single time that like the design was different, the aesthetic was different, the color palette was different. And I hired interns also during that. That was fun. Anyway, so then because I had a lot of time on my hands, and I was just starting to get into K-pop also, I had been listening to BTS before that also. Okay, it's not that that's like the first time that I heard it. I heard Blood, Sweat and Tears back in 2016, but I was in 11th with the medical stream, and I realized that I didn't have time to like decode the entire language and like find out about this whole new genre of art while I was literally suffering myself, you know. So during this time, I finally decided that I will dive into BTS because I had heard already that it's like a rabbit hole. There is like a different timeline. The music videos are joined. There's like a festa thing that happens. I didn't know what that was then. And there are like 7 members and whatnot, you know. So I finally got the chance to dive into it. So then I started to get into it, and I was like listening to the song. Then it was like a bop ass time. And then on December 19th, 2020, I finally, for the first time properly, heard their song called Black Swan. Okay. And I heard it like in passing, like the morning that day or whatever. And that night, that song like was stuck in my head. Okay. And I was talking to my friends, and I was like, Black Swan is like really good. I'll like post like a screenshot of my friends and my like chat. Okay. So I was saying like, this song is really good, dude. Like it's a really good song. And my friends were like, yeah, dude, it is. Obviously it is. And I just saw 4 for 4. And then the next morning on 20th December, it's almost 2 years anniversary of that also in like a week. It's 13th December today. Yeah, so the next morning I started listening to the song again. My dad was in his room working. I was in the hall sitting about to work on my blog, but then I was listening to that song. I played the video, and then I played it again, and then I played it again, and then for the next 3 hours I heard it on repeat for 3 continuous hours. And for those 3 continuous hours I was just sobbing. I was so overwhelmed with the feeling that I was feeling while watching that and while listening to that song. I didn't even know what that song was about, by the way. It was like the first time, like the initial hearing of the song. But I was crying my eyes out. And then all I could think about for those 3 hours was that, how do I do this? This is my purpose. How have I not been doing this? I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. Okay. And then I was so overwhelmed, and I was I don't know, I was hit pretty hard with this feeling, like this shock or whatever. And I was bedridden the entire day. It was like a wound had opened in my chest. So after that week, to be honest, because I couldn't watch anything BTS related during that time. After that time, I somehow, in some way, realized and decided that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to be a performer. I have to do it. There is no other way my life will make sense if I don't do this, you know. And then ensued the entire process of figuring a way out to accomplish it. Alright, that marks the end of the Halloween Hocus Pocus marathon. I mean, not a marathon, it's just 2 movies, but still. I'll see you next time. So that was in 2020 end, right? So then we were still like at home, you know, not allowed to go out and whatnot. So, and I couldn't tell my parents again during that time, because like if I would have like, they would have discouraged again, said something else. It would have affected me. Since I was the only one motivating myself during that time, I didn't want to take that chance, so I didn't tell them. So then I started thinking, how do I begin this, right? Because I hadn't danced in like years. I hadn't sung properly in years. All I had done was act until like a year before then with my Streetwear Society, right? So it was really hard in the beginning trying to figure out how to do it and not be discouraged by how far away I am and how I have no guidance during that time either. I decided that I will do whatever I can in the moment, right? So I started practicing. After my parents went to sleep, I would practice my singing. I would do vocal warm-ups. I started learning choreographies of the K-pop song that I liked. Pretty Savage was the first one. Pretty Savage by Blackpink. I have recordings of those practices also. And it's not pretty. it's really not. We will decide later if I'm going to show like the progress or not. And I would do it at like 1:30 a.m. or something, so that my parents didn't know that I was doing it. Okay. I think the only problem with this lighting, I mean, except for the brilliant mood that it creates, is the fact that I cannot tell which color this is. It's alright. It's gonna be fine.
Right, yeah.
Yeah? Am I in it?
Honey, you are.
Again, I will remind everybody here that the purpose of this activity is to have fun. I am not here to create art, I'm here to create a fun time. Alright. So that happened, and then I applied for my master's in Bangalore, which is where I am right now. So I applied for my master's, I got in, and then I kept like, the college won't allow the students to join in for like the offline classes yet. So I was still stuck at home. I was still practicing step by step, day by day. And I watched every single thing that BTS had put out. Everything. I watched everything. Their docuseries like 10 times over each and every single one of them. I watched their documentaries. I watched like their variety show, because they talk about how to deal with this dream. You know, they talk about how to chase your dream, how to help achieve your dream, and they talk about, and since they are doing what I want to do, it was really easy for me to look at them as like this unwitting guide. Everything I watched during that time related to music was like studying. And I was still not like completely in the groove, because I was still like working out, because it is not as like, you need, how do I put this? Entertainment industry has some prerequisites appearance wise. Okay, and I wanted to meet them. So I was working out, I was figuring out my spirituality during that time also. And there was like a lot of things happening. I was transforming and healing a lot of different things during that time, right? So it was not just me trying to pursue music, okay? But there was a hype audition in that year, and it was for people till 19, and I was 21 at that time. So I thought, let's do it, you know. It was like a very last minute thing. I didn't really like practice for it, and lo and behold, I didn't get selected, obviously. I will include my introduction for that audition here, okay?
안녕하십니까. 저는 미라입니다. Hi, I am Mirra from Delhi, India, and I'm 22 years old. I know that is 1 year more than the required age, but I promise you that is not a testament to any of my skills or the effort that I'm willing to put in. I have been a performer my entire life. I have done classical singing, classical dancing, western singing. I used to play an instrument also, sitar, and I was a part of almost all theatre activities in my school as well as my college. I was a part of the Street Society and the president of it in my 3rd year. And there is nothing else I know of other than performing, and there's nothing more than I would like to do than performing. I have tried to get a 9-to-5 job, tried to apply for it, but just nothing works out. I don't think I can do anything else. I'm a rule follower. I will not mess up in any way. Or maybe I will mess up, but I promise you I will not give up. I cannot. There is nothing else I would like to do. There's nothing else for me out there. I'm a writer as well. I'm a poet. I have a blog, and I have this poem on YouTube that I narrated and I recited, and I will include the link of it as well in my profile, and I hope that this leap of faith works out somewhere. Thank you. 감사합니다.
I gave the audition, didn't get selected, it was kind of sad, but then I still moved on. I thought I'll do something else. So finally I got called to be a participant in the offline classes for my master's, and I moved to Bangalore from Delhi. First week that I was here, I wrote like an email to the HOD of that department, and wrote an entire email like talking about how I want to pursue this, and I would be willing to do administrative work in like exchange of classes and stuff, and I include like links to my blog and everything else. And he replied to that email saying call me at 7 p.m. and I was like, great, he's gonna scold me now. Great. But so I was really nervous, and then I still called him, obviously. And I called him, and he said that your work is like at the level of professionals, and I will show every single one of my students how it is to be an artist and whatnot, and I was like, I'm going to go cry now, and he was laughing, and I wasn't joking. It's like the first time I got like validation from like an adult who's in this industry, sort of, or in this field work. And he said, I will forward your email to any teacher that you want. Just go to our page, select the teachers that you want to interact with. I'll send them your email. I'll forward it to them myself. And I was like, great, fantastic, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. That went on for like 3 months, I think 3 or 4 months maximum. I would go there, I would get some classes. I got like maybe 5 classes, 6 classes in total. I did a lot of their work in return. So I realized that this is not working because like I wasn't there to just do their work, right? So like I backed out of that, and then I decided that I will get a real vocal coach so that they take me seriously. So I found like one near where I live so that I didn't have to spend money on travel. I found one and I started going there. And on the second class, the vocal coach asked me if I was single. So I didn't go back there. That's fun. And so that didn't work out either. So then I found one online through like a friend of a friend, and that teacher was also not compatible, you know. So like stuff like this kept happening, and I'm still looking for a vocal coach. I still don't have one properly. And then I suddenly watched Blackpink Lisa, just random day, and I was so stricken with fear that she's so prepared as a performer, and I will never have enough time to prepare if I keep like participating in my masters. So let's just say that was not a problem anymore. Okay, are you getting what I'm saying here? Because it's not like common knowledge, so I'm not gonna elaborate on that. If you understand, great. If you don't, who cares? Let's move on, right? Great. Then this entire last year of from like November 2021 to August 2022, I kept trying to find something didn't work out. Kept trying to find something, didn't work out. Would find something, didn't work out. And at one point, I was doing the entire thing myself. I was practicing my vocals by myself. I had barely any friends during that time. Still don't have a lot of friends. You know, it sounds like I'm a horrible person, and I hope it's not true, but it just didn't work out with friends. Like with the old friends I grew out of, like the things that we had in common didn't exist anymore, and the new ones that I met, it's so hard like to maintain your own discipline by yourself, you know, without like having a teacher to work through it, and like trying to pursue a career that is so like that is hard enough. And then if you are around people who are not working towards something as diligently as you, which is fine for them, like, you know, it's different people, different goals. It worked out great for them, like they're happy in their lives, and that's all that matters, right? But for me, I wanted to surround myself with people who were also working towards something, so that I didn't feel like not working towards it also. Like if they're always going out and having fun and I have to practice, it kind of like dampened my mood a lot, and they wouldn't understand that I couldn't go out a lot, and they would get mad, stuff like that, you know. So I was not having a lot of friends, and I was trying to navigate how to figure stuff out without like letting my parents know that I'm working towards this thing. And it was just really hard during that time. So I was so emotionally burnt out. Like I had a whole schedule planned, okay? Like I would wake up and then work out and then do vocal practices and then study. I was learning, like I'm still learning like 4 languages right now. I'm learning French, Greek, Latin and Korean. You know, I'm doing that. I'm trying to read on spirituality also. I'm reading like a Neville Goddard book. Not a book, I'm reading like a collection of his books. So I was doing so many things all by myself. Did not really have anybody to rely on emotionally or physically or like romantically, you know. So I burnt out so hard. So hard for like a week there in the middle in August or something. I couldn't move. I couldn't wake up from my bed. That's how bad it was. You know, I haven't had a love situation in such a long time. I don't think I've ever had a crush in such a long time. Like, honestly, I wish I had a crush. Like, if my soulmate is watching, can you come into my life now? Okay? Fine. Let me just be nice. I do not disagree with you. Can you come into my life now? Thanks. I decided to take a break. So I started reading again. So I read a lot of books in this 1 year. I finally read like the Shadowy series, I read Akatar, I read Throne of Glass, I read like Six of Crows, I read Six of Crows. After I watched Friends so many times, I keep realizing that they mention the Xerox girls so many times just for the plot. Like no other character has been, like no other side character hasn't mentioned this much as like the Xerox girl has been. And I stupidly I had taken like an astrology reading based on this career and they were like, this is never gonna happen. And I was so sad. My god, imagine putting like 2 years worth of emotional, mental, physical effort, like taking risks with your life. Kind of. And finally hearing like it's not gonna work out. I watch a lot of movies by myself these like months. So I went to watch a movie so that I could take my mind off of it. And I was still so sad in my head. I kept repeating, oh my god, this is not gonna happen. I was holding back tears while there's like a funny scene going on in the movie. Full on dramatic, right? Because performer, obviously. So, and I have never ever in my life seen as many 666 like angel numbers before this, you know. And for like those who don't know, I'm a pretty spiritual person, so like these kind of references kind of will keep coming up. So 666 by like in the pure spirituality meaning stands for like you need to reflect. This is not the right way. Reflect. This is not good for you. Go back. It's like that poison sign. Like don't do this. This is not good for you. That's what it means. Okay. So I saw that and I was like, I still couldn't like take it because I was so sad. I needed to feel all of it. Feel like the heartbreak of it so that I could move on. The amount of nights I spent crying, listening to BTS's cover of Fix You, my sad song, my go-to sad song. So now, a year since that happened, I have kind of gathered myself. I have realized that it is up to me. So if there is anybody else who's like struggling with trying to figure out how to follow their dream, it's up to you. It's going to happen either way if you really want it to. It doesn't matter what your astrology says. It doesn't matter what your tarot cards say. It doesn't matter what your friends say, what your parents say, what your family says, in any respect, what your teachers say. If you have a dream that you really, really, really believe in, it is going to happen. Okay, take my word for it because I'm going to make it happen. Okay. So now here we are and I have gathered myself a little bit. I've started working towards things again a little more consistently. I was still working towards things in this 1 year. I did make like the first 3 songs of my life. In this past 1 year, I did make more songs. I did apply for like another audition. I emailed them personally also with like this proposition that I had for them, but it didn't work out, so it's fine. We'll move on. We'll keep moving on. It's going to happen either way. There has to be something out there that's going to work out, right? So I'm going to find it and it's going to work out and it will make sense why like these things didn't work out. So I'm fine with it now. And I figured like it would be so much fun to watch me go through this like 10 years down the lane when everything has worked out and I'm like happily like this shining star music performer, and like I'll look back to these videos and be like, oh my god, yeah, that happened. Oh my god, I look so cute there, but like, oh my god, that happened. Oh my god, you know. And plus, it would be so nice to have like people around me who know about this and like hopefully will support me. I'm so scared of like being online and being seen also. So it's like a little contradictory that my dream is to be a performer, but I'm like this, you know. So at this moment, presently, I have a giant TBR pile. I'm still looking for a vocal coach. I am still learning languages. I started learning Greek and Latin because I read The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Listen, I pride myself on being smart, okay? And that book made me feel like an imbecile. I didn't get a single reference that she mentioned, and that did not sit well with me. So I'm learning Greek and Latin and French that I could understand things. I plan on reading a lot of Charles Dickens and like Jane Austen also, so that I understand. Because there's this thing about like, never mind. I'll make like a video on books later on, like with like my next video probably. That'll be about books because I have so much to share, especially about Throne of Glass. I just found out that the bitch who lives in front of me is gonna move in like a month. I'm so glad. She keeps screaming at 3 a.m. while having like fights with her friends or her mother who's living with her. So I'm really happy about that. If you hear screaming, just ignore it. It's gonna go away in a month. Great. So at this moment, I am reading a lot of books. I have a lot of TBR pile. I am reading a lot of books also. I am enrolled in this online course, which is like a collaboration between Yellow Brick and New York University Tisch. It's called Music Industry Essentials, and I'm enrolled into that. I got like 75% scholarship, and the cost of it was like $1,000. $1,000 would have been a lot, undoubtedly. I'm paying like an amount every month for like the next year. And I'm almost done with the course. Like I just have like a couple of projects left, and it's pretty good. Like I didn't have any knowledge about how this industry works, right? So like having an idea about how copyright law works, or like how to get sync licenses and what they are in the first place, and how to have like a persona and how to work things out. I'm studying those right now also. Like whenever things finally work out, I'm not like caught off guard. You know, that was like my whole point, starting like practicing at 1 a.m. also, so that like when things work out, I was not at like square one. I had done something. I had some base to like stand on, you know. So there's this NYU Tisch course. There are my books, a lot of spirituality that I'm trying to figure out. I tried applying for like other jobs in the middle also, but generally nothing worked out. Like I sent like a screenshot to my dad where like I applied to like 20 different places, and all of them either went inactive or the job was not applicable anymore or they deleted it. You know, so nothing's working out that way either. I did have a job in the middle, but that also didn't work. I wrote a song this month, bro. Oh my god, I wrote a song this month. Let me just include like a snippet of it here. Okay, ready. I'm in the mood for something classic, like clouds in the sky or oceans of madness. But there's something I wish for even more, like your hand in my hand, but you're not here, but you're not here. So in those times that I was like dreaming of like things and how they would be and being absolutely delulu, I have thought of what my first album's concept's gonna be. I know what my fandom's gonna be called. I know the first prologue, the intro, is what poem that's gonna be. I've written it down already. It's called Before, Here and Now, and After. I guess that was my story, and here I am trying to figure this out still. Nothing's worked out yet, but hope it has to. It will. There was this time I was walking in my society in the morning when I was trying to like initial like in 2021, end of 2021, and I was constantly thinking about this career, right? Because it's like there's a lot of critique, there's a lot of like you're constantly under scrutiny, and I was really scared because I really like my peace of mind. Like I've worked really hard to be like emotionally, mentally, spiritually at peace. So I wasn't really comfortable with the thought of putting myself out there and being unsafe, I guess. I mean, it's not really that different from being a girl in Delhi, but still. So I was walking, and then I randomly saw like this license plate of this car in my society, and it was written in such a way like the first two letters of a state, and then like a number, and then some other letters, and then the actual number of the car. So it was written in such a way that it actually spelled out choice 3366. Okay, and I had never seen that car, or I had never paid any attention to that car. It's always there now, like when I go and see it, but I hadn't paid any attention to it before. So I was like, this is very weird. It looks like choice 3366, and it's like also looks like an angel number. So then I googled it, and 3366 was about your life being a choice. It will either turn out good if you make the right decisions, or it will not turn out good if you decide that it will not be good. So this entire time that I was fearful, I was scared of my career going downhill, or it turning into something negative. I feel like that was a sign that it is up to me with how I conduct myself, what kind of messages I put out there, how I speak, how I act, how I behave, and all of that will shape. And that's a lot of responsibility, by the way, but that is what will shape how my career is going to be like. It's not completely out of my hands. I am choosing to put forth a video or a channel where there is pursuit of dreams, and there is failure, and there will be success, and there will be fun, and there will be absolute sadness. But if there is somebody else out there who's going through this, you will not be alone. This is what I choose. This is my choice of what my message, my purpose will be. If I get the opportunity to have a platform, great. If this is the end of it, we'll figure something else out. But oh my god, I would be so grateful, so grateful if this worked out. If I were to stand on a stage and sing a song that means a lot to me, and have like this whole like fantasy themed performance with it, and like backup dancers, and I don't know, a lot of things, I would be very, very grateful if all of this worked out. And I keep forgetting that people get paid for this. You know what I mean? Like I was watching Modern Family, and I was like, oh my god, they're part of something so cool, something so soft, something so positive. And then I was watching one of their interviews on like this talk show, and the host was like, so you have like your own houses now. She was talking to the kids, and I was like, oh my god, that's right. They get paid for this. So and he was like, that's how much art means to me, stupidly and ignorantly. That's how much art means to me. And I do genuinely feel like art is something absolutely like art, any form of art, music, dance, movies, painting, writing, novels, oh my god, poetry. Each of these are the most tangible form of magic that we have. I feel like there is something that happens when you hear the right song, or you read the right novel, or you find the right movie, or you look at the right piece of art. There is something that happens that connects you to something way bigger, and something way, way, way far away. Wow, intellectual Mirra. Something that happens when you connect to something that is so full of love and only love. There is nothing else there. There is only acceptance and there is only love. There is no space for anything else there. There is only magic and love and everything good that you can think of, everything that makes you feel. It's like you can finally have a glass of water after an entire day of being out in the sun. That's what it feels like. It's the most natural, most grounded form of magic, you know. So I would really like for this channel to be something like that. I would like for this channel to be like the soft space that you can come to when your dreams aren't working out or when they are working out, you know. If you're trying to achieve something that other people are not, don't believe in it, or they don't believe in you. Stupid move in my opinion, but still, if they're choosing to not believe in you, I hope you can come here and we can be sad together, because I have those in my life as well. And then I can discuss my books also, so that I can have like a proper, I can justify the time that I spend reading them and not doing something productive, you know. That would be great. And yeah, I just hope to find people that I can relate to, that I can talk to about this, you know, because humans are a social animal, you know. I've really realized this, you know. And if my soulmate is watching this right now, you come into my life right now, I swear to God. Actually, don't come into my life right now. No, wait, let me figure something out and then come into my life. Okay, great. That was all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for putting up with this entire storytelling that I spent all of this time on. I'm really, really, really genuinely so grateful that you're here. I believe in you. I believe that there's magic. And I know there's magic. I don't need to believe in it. It's not subjective. There is magic. It is out there waiting for you to be discovered properly and to be touched by you. That sounded creepy. To be experienced by you. That sounded better. Okay, great. Good job. Education. Masters. Can't take credit for that yet. I hope to see you in the next video as well. I hope you enjoyed the vlogs also. Hocus Pocus was really fun. Painting was really fun. I'm not an artist. I am a singer, dancer, actor, songwriter. Let's not put painter on there. Okay, great. I hope you have the nicest, greatest, funnest day every single day. Every single day, more the next day, you know. And I will see you next time. Okay, bye.